weekend. 13 to 8. Look who it is, Nick Hayes. Welcome back to 6PR, Nicky.
Oh, g'day, Tony. And Tony, what a great, refreshing program you've got on a Saturday night. I don't think there's a program like this around the country. So.
No, they won't let anybody else try anything like this. They've just said, no way. We're not going to, hang on, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. When we get to number one, then we can go, Hey, listen, welcome, because for a long time you were, all those years ago, Nick, when we were children, you would come in and you were part of the regular Sunday panel, and then we did a bit, I think we did a bit with Gemma and you on the afternoon program for a little while, and it's good to have you back on a Saturday night, old son.
Oh, Tony, good to be back. Good to be back on 6PR. I do a little media segment right around the country through the Fairfax Network, and would you believe the state that I live in? I haven't been on 6PR for such a long time, but the last time I think you and I got together, I was approached by another radio station to do a little sports show, and I haven't been back on 6PR since, but it's great to be talking to you guys.
We take a long time to forgive Nick.
Oh, well, if Mr. John Salvander's out there listening, I think he might have just forgiven me then.
See, if you ever leave, well, it's a long time before we ask people back. We really make you just, you know, it's all about timing.
But I feel like 6PR is home, though, Tony.
Well,
I feel
it
like
is.
It's home.
It's the only reason I came back.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the reasons I came back. It is home. Tell us, for those that don't know, tell us just briefly a little bit about the media stable of which you are a director, because it's a great organisation, and it's a lovely little business that seems to be doing really well nationally.
Yeah, we're right around the country. Basically, Media Stable puts your experts in front of the media, whether it be radio, television and newspapers, and also a lot of online media. So we sort of recognise, and having worked in the media, and you'll know this better than anyone, Tony, is that the resources are getting fairly smaller and shorter at all forms of media, because it's a big business, but we all are responsible for making a little few dollars to the shareholders. So this is a business that supports media. So very much I've kept my finger on the pulse with everything that's going around in media, kept all my friends in media, which sometimes is a little difficult, but you know, you do manage to hang on to them and just support media. So ultimately, you know, there'll be a few people that might even be on this radio station that you'll hear that might have actually resulted or come through from the Media Stable, but it's not PR or anything like that. It's good experts giving away their intellectual property, giving away their thoughts and opinions, and adding to the conversation, which makes a great talkback.
But Nick, I'm just thinking, I mean, I joined PR around the same time as Paul Murray, so it was about 99 when I first started at 6PR. So what's that, can you believe it's 16 years ago?
Oof.
And I'm just thinking, even in that period of time, Nick, the landscape, the media landscape has really changed. I mean, the internet was still really embryonic. We certainly didn't have the smartphones where people are communicating, listening and talking on a range of platforms, which we've canvassed in with other guests. So we live in that, as much as I hate it, we live in that time of just continual change.
It is continual change, and it all comes down to technology. Technology has allowed us to, literally all of us are walking around with a little broadcasting unit in our pockets, that being our smartphones. We can take photos, we can record things, we can watch video. So there's a lot of pressure that's on traditional media. But it's funny, Tony, the one medium that's doing exceptionally well right across the country, and also, you know, in some markets across the world, is radio, and particularly talkback radio, because you can't change this medium. You can't change the fact that you're sitting there, you're talking to the wide audience of Perth and allowing them to come in and engage, and keeping them company, engaging, talking them and informing them. And it's a medium that's trusted, and it's still growing. So we've all heard that television's taken quite a hit, and we refer that to, and it's advertising dollars. Less people are spending money in advertising on television. Newspaper circulation figures are dropping off. Well, they're dropping off because we're starting to read our newspapers on the iPad. We're starting to read it at our desktop or online. It's and there's so many different other sources of media that's out there.
It's amazing. There's no question about that. And for years they've been saying video killed the radio star, and yet, as you say, talk which I often refer to as the original form of social media, talkback radio, is going from strength to strength. Can I just a couple of things I want to raise with you? The 10 network, they've had a couple of difficult years, to say the least, which has been pretty well documented. There's a great team of people at 10 nationally working to turn it around, and they're pinning their hopes on a couple of interesting projects. Is it about taking risks?
Oh, look, Channel 10's probably the biggest risk taker of the network stations out there. And as you said, Tony, they've had a good, shocking couple of years, and they need to take these risks because they are probably the poor cousin of the television networks out there. I love Channel 10. My television very rarely comes off Channel 10 because I like a lot of its programming. But it does hurt because 7 and 9 is so dominant, not just here in the West, but also right across the country. So they need to take a few risks, and they are doing this at the moment. And if you've been watching the Big Bash has been fantastic for them. Everyone's watching the Big Bash, and they're getting great numbers. And they're really bashing into us a lot of the programs that they've got coming up. And two programs I think they're taking big risks with one is called Gogglebox, and the other one is I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Two programs I'm going to struggle to see make an impact, but I could be wrong.
Well, just briefly tell us about Gogglebox.
All right, well, Gogglebox has originated from the UK, so any of our expat British people out there listening will probably know Gogglebox because it's been over there for a little while. In fact, it's a BAFTA award-winning program over in the UK. What this simply is television watching people watching television.
So let me hang on. So this is a show about people sitting watching TV.
They're sitting there watching TV. There's a little recording device sitting up on top of their TV, watching them watching TV.
Can you imagine how that would have started as an idea? Like a couple of people sitting around going, I've got an idea for a show. What's that? Why don't we do, it's like something out of Seinfeld, why don't we do a show about people watching a show?
A show about nothing.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I've been reading into it quite a lot, actually, because when it first was launched, and it is something that both Channel 10 and Foxtel are doing. So both networks there are taking a little bit of a risk, but they could get this right. The people in Britain love this. The UK absolutely adore this program, and for it to be a BAFTA award-winning program, this is quite a very, a program that we would think could do some good things over here. But the difference is that in the UK, the viewing audience there, I mean, let's face it, we've only just seen the demise of the Page 3 girl on The Sun this week. We're only hearing about that today. Yeah. But that's your typical kind of audience that sort of would appeal to this program. And I don't think the Australian viewing audience will put up with this. But there's something inside me that just says, I just want to watch the first program and see what it's all about. And hopefully, and Channel 10 and Foxtel will be betting on this, is that they're hoping you'll come and watch the second, third and fourth program.
Stay right where you are. We're talking to Nick Hayes from Media Stable, all things media, on a Saturday night. We'll come back with a full list, all the celebrities that will appear on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I think that's what it's called. We'll do that next. Thanks. Errol Quigley, the other side of the 8 o'clock news, a couple of minutes away, from Media Stable, Nick Hayes. Nick, 10's I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here is causing a fair bit of conversation about who will appear on the program. There even, it turns out, there's going to be a radio personality that's going to be on the show.
Well, is it you, Tony?
Not me, but I'm going Amanda Keller.
You're going Amanda Keller. I think you could be right there. Well,
or Chrissy Swan.
Chrissy Swan could be probably the better chance because these B-style celebrities, it's either you're on the downward rung if you're sort of in these B-class celebrity positions there. It's definitely not going to promote your industry chances of improving in the media. So you would, I think, Chrissy Swan, because she's been going downwards, she's probably trying to go back up. But she's a good chance. Look, no one really knows. I mean, they're throwing all these different ideas out there. One thing that came out was the Teenage Witch, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, is the international star that's coming over, and there was big rumours around her. Lots of rumours. Look, this is another program that's risky for Channel 10 because, again, very popular in the UK, this program, done by, compared by Ant and Dec, who, again, for our British listeners out there, will know these guys. They're fantastic and they could make any show happen and work. But happening here in Australia, again, the viewing audience, very different. We are a very different culture over here. We've kept Big Brother going for this long. I don't think Big Brother's got much more legs left in it. And I think this is the sort of where we will head to with I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Nick, we'll do it in a couple of weeks' time. Nice to talk to you. And welcome back to 6PR, Nicky.
Thank you, Tony. And can I put in Eagle Rock by Daddy Cool?
It's on the list.
Australia take on India.